This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rahab, what's good, homie?
Yo, what's happening, Mike? What do you got going on right now?
Nothing much, man. Little snowstorm out here in New Jersey today.
Yeah, how bad?
Quick 8 inches. So we had soccer training scheduled this morning, about 45 minutes away down in Wall, New Jersey, which is about 40 minutes from me, down one major highway, Route 18 in New Jersey, and we woke up to about 8 inches of fresh powder on the ground. But listen, there's no excuses out here, bro. There's no excuses. We know this. You know this. This is how we rolled as bowlers as kids, right? Like, there was never an excuse. There was never an excuse. Snow, rain, bad weather, little injury here. No, there's never an excuse. You go, you get the work in. So we were off this morning. We were off in the snowstorm, trooping down the highway, driving to the soccer training this morning. And we went and got our work in. Then I had to do some snow removal. I had to break out the snow blower today for the first time this season. So that's always fun. And then a little football and relaxing this afternoon, with the snowy scenery around me. So not a bad day.
Yeah, I don't want to say, I think everybody already knows it's 80 today here, and I was smoking some ribs outside on the smoker. So I just finished them up about an hour ago, Mike. They came out amazing. So yeah, doors open, windows open. It's just the best time here in Arizona.
Obviously, people know that my daughter's into soccer, and I follow a lot of soccer stuff on social media. And there's actually a huge boys soccer tournament going on out by you right now, Rob, in Arizona. It's called MLS Next Fest, and man, I gotta say, the setting out there looks amazing. A lot of the social media, pictures and stuff, and you're like, just the twilight sky out there, and just the weather, and it just looks, honestly, it looks like an amazing place to live. I've seen a few videos this week, and I was like, damn, Rob's got it made, bro. Look at this environment this guy's living in out here.
Yo, it's great, except those months of June to end of August or September when it's 115 and everybody is just running from Arizona and the West Coast. But all right, Mike.
When I went to Florida a few weeks ago, my whole family was ready to move down to Florida after we went to Florida in November. And then, a couple of people that live down there that I know were like, well, yeah, it's great in November, but come June, you can't go outside. So there's that too. But I don't know, man. That might be an okay trade-off, I feel like.
Yeah, I've dealt with the winters in the Midwest and East Coast, and please give me this hot summers and the beautiful winters all day, every day.
No doubt.
All right, Mike, we don't want to talk weather here because this is a bowling podcast. And
we talk well. I mean, we got to give the people what they want, son. We got to give the people what they want. They want to hear the league report.
How's the hot streak?
It's over.
Oh yeah, you hit the middle. Lane, huh?
Came to a crashing end. Came to a crashing halt. Had a few good weeks there. Got my average up to 202.
Oh.
202.
Nice. All respectable. 100%.
And I'm going to say that 202 is like a composite 202. That goes back several years of sport records and averages. So, 202. Happy about that. And then I proceeded to bowl like a donkey, basically, and shoot, I think 560. Hold on. Let me bring up my picture. I want to give, I've been taking a picture of the recap at the end of the night, just so I can give the people an accurate picture of where I'm at. Oh, 560. I gave myself way too much credit. 543. 543, 159, 172, 212. And yeah, I would just say that they played a little bit differently this week than that particular medium pattern had been playing. I had been whacking the medium and I had the ball figured out and felt very confident on it. And that ball looked like doo-doo this week. And instead of being prepared and bringing in 6 balls, I just assume, oh, yeah, this ball is going to work. It's going to look good again. And I only bring in 3 balls, one of which is a plastic ball. So I really only had one other ball to go to. And I threw that for 1 shot, and that looked even worse than the one that I started with. So, yeah, again, just not being as well prepared as I should. But the ball that I had been using on this pattern did not look like the right ball this week. Maybe in the last game it looked okay, but I feel like that was more of a result of the ball just finding it through the transition than it was the ball being the right ball from the start. It was a radical outer limits is what I've been using on that medium pattern Autobahn, and it had up to this week that ball had looked like a world beater on this pattern, and yeah, like I said, just wasn't the same. A little bit of a different reaction this week. The ones that usually hook were hanging. The ones that usually hold were hooking, and that created a mess for your boy. I did have a shot at 2 card games, managed to pull 2 full houses in the card game, but got bested in each one. One of them, I got bested on the last card. Somebody pulled 4 of a kind. And I was highly disappointed in that. I love winning the card game, but nonetheless, right. A decent week. You know, I'll take 202, man. I will take 202. I'm proud of that. I'll stand behind that. You know, especially being that it's a composite average and there's a lot of games behind that average. But yeah, definitely, I'm taking off this week. Yeah, I just need a week off. I need a week off. I do have some schedule stuff going on in my family that that led to me taking off.
I was just saying you need a week off. You bowl 3 games a week. You're like, I gotta take a week off. It's just
I know. It is though.
I'm burnt out.
I'm not getting into it because we've discussed this ad nauseum, and we'll do a show on it after the league season is over, when my frustration has reached the ultimate tipping point. But like 36 weeks in a row is just too much. Rob, I don't want to do anything 36 weeks in a row. Can I just say that? Well, maybe there's a couple things. I'll say this. It's a very short list of things I want to do 36 weeks in a row.
Agreed. I hate it. I just will not. It's going to take me a lot to bowl league again in general. Like the league I have here Thursday nights in the sport, when you could like bow out after like the Christmas, is like the perfect like situation. And I really want to get back into that league because I don't feel like I'm obligated. But man, the people who bowl 36-week league seasons are just dedicated, and people who bowl more than one league a year and do 2 or 3 36-week seasons are literally like super dedicated and super committed.
I just can't understand that mindset. I'll be honest.
Let me talk more. Let's
bowl 2 or 3 leagues a week and show up every week, all 36 weeks. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful here. I'm not, and I'm not trying to have like a hot take here, but like, you need to find other things going on in your life.
That's a lot.
Really, like if you bowl 2 or 3 leagues a week and you show up all 36 weeks, like, you're not busy enough. I'm sorry, like you're not. Like,
it's a lot of people, they want a bowl league every week. It gets them out of their house, away from their kids, away from their wife. Some people bowl with their wives. They bowl with their partners. So yeah, it's just everyone has a different like view of league, how we view it. You know what I mean? And we just speak on our own experiences, right? Like, because we've been bowling our whole lives, And there's some people that are new to the sport too, and they get excited to bowl league, and it's not a chore like sometimes how we feel.
Now, I know that like at your job, you're like a boss, so maybe I don't know, maybe this doesn't apply to you, but you know, people need a mental health day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, working like 9 hours a day in an office is a lot different than bowling 2 hours a week in league.
Okay, but here's what I'm saying though, and this is you see where I'm going with this. League is such a mental grind in a way to me that I need a mental health week from league every once in a while.
Jesus. Well, sport league will do that to you.
Come on, guys out there. Are you telling me that I'm the only one that feels that way? That like I just need to just take a mental break from showing up every week and like bowling and being fried and dealing with the things that I'm dealing with. And like,
yeah, well, that's why there's subs, right, in league. Like people like have subs so that they have stuff going on. And it's not. I don't think everybody bowls every week. You have her sub. You know,
and we have a sub. We have actually a couple subs that have been bowling for us regularly. Shout to those people. Shout to Ernie. And it just makes it easier. It does. It makes it easier for me to say, all right, I'll take a week off. In fact, like going back 3 or 4 weeks, the person who's subbing regularly for us wanted to get enough games in to bowl our county masters tournament, right? That was one of the reasons they were showing up and subbing. So I had told them at that time, hey, listen, if we get down to December and you still need games, no problem, bro. Like you can come and sub for me 1 week and I'll take the week off. So that's actually part of another reason why I'm taking this week off, because I had already told them, hey, if you want to get a few games in on this week, I'll take that week off. But really, it is, Rob. It's more about the mental break I need, and it's more about it's more about the holiday season and being busy and just having a lot going on. And I could use that extra night to get some things done and follow up on some stuff. So I'm actually looking forward to taking the week off this week. I am, and then I'll come back next week when my work schedule is wrapping up for the holiday. Yeah, like I have a half day that following day after league, but that'll be very easy. Yeah. So I'll actually look forward to coming back that week.
Yeah, real quick, Mike. I want to go through some of the people in the chat just hanging out with us. Yellow Magic Bowling, what's good, man? Nico's in the chat. Our resident statistician, always correcting us. Billy M3292, what's going on? PD, is that New Jersey? PDING, what's up, man? Terry Runyon says that he bowled second ever 300 Friday night with the new danger zone. So man, congrats on that. Robert Hamilton, as always, what's good, Robert? Still remember those crossovers you threw against me at Showplace, my man. Bowling with Diallo in the chat. Alex James, man, we got a lot of some new faces. Adam Jazwak, he was kind of he was dogging on us on our Facebook earlier, talking about how we whine about everything. And I was like, yo, you don't gotta listen to us, my guy. If you think we're whining all the time, ain't no sweat off our backs. Tarzan, what's good? Adida 9-1, Tom Gorman, Henry Heath. Man, a lot of some familiar names, some new faces.
Henry, 3 leagues a week. You're a sicko. You're a sicko. Who wants to do anything 3 times a week, 36 weeks in a row? Again, short list of things I want to do 3 times a week, 36 weeks in a row.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. We got PBA schedule. We have a guest coming on.
Okay.
So let's go.
Let's start with our guest.
All right. You want to see how did this start? What, like, you got to give us some kind of context here, Mike.
Well, I'm gonna introduce them and bring them on, and then I'll give some context after we bring them on, because the context part goes back a little ways, I'll say. Okay. So we're gonna welcome on Mark Jeffries, okay, who currently is the college bowling coach of Southern Nazarene. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Southern Nazarene University, and bring him on. Okay. And I'll discuss context. Please tell me I got the name right.
Oh, you did.
Okay. All right. Cool.
All over it.
All right. No doubt. So
Rob.
Have you been on before?
A long time ago.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say. I thought we had you on before, but Rob, we're going back. Like
Audio days.
yes, Mark was one of the first people. Yeah, Mark. Honest to God, Mark was one of the first people who ever reached out to us about our podcast, and like very, very early in our podcast days, I'd say probably after we did our first handful of episodes or so, he reached out to us, and he reached out to me, and started with an email, and then we had a phone conversation, and he was doing the same thing we were doing with the podcast in a much better way, in a much more professional manner, but for the fishing industry. Okay. And he was involved in a fishing podcast, and he reached out to me to just say, hey, listen, like I do a really high level fishing podcast, and I
remember. Okay.
You remember all this, right?
That's a long time ago.
It was. This was all the way back from at the beginning of our podcast.
Just real quick though, is Mark where you got the term patch pirate from?
Yes, I'm getting there. there.
Check this out. Look. There's patches everywhere.
Look at that.
I knew it. I remembered, man. I can't believe I love that. Dude, that's a official patch pirate shirt right there.
So yeah, after we had talked a bit and we went back and forth, he was like, yo, come on the fishing podcast. He's like, come on, we'll chop it up about bowling for 10 minutes. We'll bring you on, So I went on. And when I was on there, I don't know how it came up or how this part of the conversation came about, but I started to talk about all the people with fake deals in the bowling industry and in the bowling world. And him and his co-host, they were like, oh, Big Mike, we got the same thing in the fishing world. Like there's all kinds of people who have this deal and that deal. Like they don't, they're a nobody. They're an unknown. And we call them patch pirates. And I was like, wow. I was like, that is like the best thing I've heard. I said, guys, I'm stealing that. I am stealing. So I did. I came back to our show and I started using that term. I don't think I ever disclosed where I got it from or how because I was, listen, I was trying to take credit for it. So I'm still going to take credit for it. But I will give the real history here tonight that yes, I got the term patch pirate from Mark, from his podcast, All Fishing, from the fishing industry. We stole it from there. But I got to listen. I'm speaking for the bowling world right now. Yeah. It's ours now.
It's yours.
It's ours now. We have wrangled that term and ripped it away from the fishing community, and now
all good, man.
So Mark has a history in bowling. He's bowled his whole life. He's been involved in bowling, and he recently got the opportunity to start a program at Southern Nazarene University
4 years ago.
And him and I have we talk every so often.
So where is that? Like where's the university?
Yeah, it's about 15 miles west of Oklahoma City. Small college, 1,100 students. Of those 1,100 students, 700 of them play sports, are student athletes. So it's a very athletic-driven university. A lot of history, been there over 100 years. Really good. It's an NCAA Division II school, really good basketball school, both on the men's and the women's side, and a lot of athletic tradition there over the years.
Okay, so he got the opportunity to start a program there, and he reached out to me when he was starting it, and we just talk. We every so often we'll talk through text. Stuff will come up in the bowling world where he'll reach out. We'll have a conversation. So a few months ago, Mark, you reached out to me and you were like, "Hey, you have a couple minutes, give me a call, something I want to run by you." And I said, okay. So I called him up, and he gave me a rundown on a major idea that he was envisioning for college bowling. Okay. And, he told me, I'm working on it. We're going to run with it this year. We're going to see where it goes. And, and it's something that I want to see if I can develop. So he's, followed up with me last week, 2 weeks ago, and sent me some information that he had put together about it. And he's done this now once or twice, right? You've run this format once.
3 times. We've done it 3 times.
Okay. And I just thought it was an interesting idea, Rob. I thought with both of us having a background in college bowling, right? Everybody knows that who listens to this podcast. I mean, college bowling was a big part of who we are as bowlers, and it was a big part of our experience. We love it. We got so much love for college bowling. We've gotten away from it a little bit podcast-wise in terms of covering it. I mean, we've done a few episodes. Alex Swords used to come on and give us some updates. We've had some younger college players on here from time to time. But we've definitely gotten away from it a little bit. So when Mark came to me with this idea, I thought, yeah, why not? I'm actually really interested, Rob, to hear your take on his idea. I've already talked to him a little bit about it, and we went back and forth a little bit, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say. But Mark, before we get into what your idea is, I just want to, for people that might be listening and might not be that familiar with college bowling, I want to make sure they understand what the traditional way of doing things in college bowling consists of.
50 years, last 50 years, man, it hasn't changed.
Right. So and you're right. It's been done the same way for a very long time. And I think you're also right about the idea that what college bowling does is very different from what any other college sport does, right? There aren't too many college sports that run things the way college bowling runs them. So let's kind of start there. We're going to focus on the guys' side of things just because of the formats that we're discussing and things of that nature. I know that the girls' side for the NCAA, that changed a little bit when they went NCAA, and I feel like that's a little bit more nuanced conversation to get into, and we're going to keep things a little bit more general. So we'll talk mainly about the guys, and Rob, please jump in and add to this. But I guess the way I would describe it is college bowling runs off of tournaments for the most part. Would you agree with that, Rob? Is that a fair way of putting it?
Yeah, it's all tournament. I mean, it's all its own tournament.
Well, it's not all tournament. Like, did you guys have conference, Rob?
I mean, we didn't mess with the conferences. I mean, we would send the B and C teams to the conferences.
Okay, but you had a conference competition. We
did, and they were walled up, and it didn't really have any significance to what we were trying to do, to be honest with you.
Agreed. We had a conference competition where I think once a month or so, all the teams in our conference would meet up at a bowling alley in the northeast section of the country, and we would then bowl a league session, I guess is what you would call it. I mean, it was a longer league session. It was probably 9 games for the 2 days or 12 games for the 2 days. But you would basically compete against just those teams in your conference. There were standings as the season went on. But, Rob, you're right, and I want to make it clear that conference competition had very little to do with anything else you were trying to accomplish for the season. Yes?
Yeah, it definitely didn't. I mean, the A team would rarely go to the conference, and when we did, we would run away with the conference by 400 or 500 pins because we were bowling against colleges that were in our vicinity, and we might hit a Michigan State, which had a decent program at the time, but it was the competition. I mean, wasn't great. So our coach let us have those weekends off usually, and would send the lower teams.
Okay, so then the other level of competition for college bowling was tournaments.
Correct,
and that's where you really went to compete against a larger set of teams. Usually 2-day events where you're going on a Saturday and Sunday, you're bowling a set of team games on Saturday most of the time, then you were bowling a set of Bakers on Sunday in some fashion to finish the tournament, right? And those tournaments would kind of be ranked. I know that they didn't do this until later in our college bowling career, and now it's the norm, but those tournaments would kind of be ranked Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, where your Tier 1s were going to be your national bangers, where every top team in the nation was going to be there. Your Tier 2s was probably going to be a more regionalized event where your top teams from this area of the country were going to be there, but not outside of that. And then your Tier 3s were sort of your local events that were more like a conference competition, a conference league session, right? And then, Rob, at the end of the year, okay, as long as you were ranked in the top 64, I believe, when we were there, you would get invited to sectionals.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then they would take the top 4 teams to sectionals. Right.
They would take the top 4 teams from each sectional. So really, the only tournament, and this is I say this because if I remember my conversations with Mark correctly, This is a big part of what he's trying to do, or what's driving what he's doing here. There really was only one tournament that mattered for the year.
The sectionals.
And it was sectionals.
Which we missed. So real quick, I know you're going to go through what you want to improve, Mark, here, but my senior year, we didn't make it to the national championship. And I bowled with Bill O'Neill. We were a top-ranked team the whole year. And then we got to the sectionals, and we just bowled bad as a team. I mean, yeah, people will say, well, if you're that great of a team, then you should have made it through sectionals. And I agree. The problem was that the way they were doing it is you could have got like 5 or 6 of the top programs in your section, and then all of a sudden you're bowling in a really tough section, almost like the NCAA bracket, where sometimes you get a really stacked bracket, right? And then you have the other side of the bracket where it's just like lower ranked teams playing each other in a sense. Like that's what was happening. And then we didn't make it to the national championships our last year, and it still to this day like bothers me because you only get four shots at it with 4 years of eligibility. And when you bowl with someone of Bill O'Neill's caliber, you have, as an anchor in a Baker format, you have a chance to win a national championship just on his back in a sense.
Okay, so you would bowl sectionals. If you made it through sectionals, Correct. You would go to nationals. And those two events were really the only events that had like real meaning. I mean, there were other tournaments throughout the year. Like I remember the St. Louis and the team match games was like a big deal, right? If you won that, it was like, wow, that was a big win that other people recognized. But outside of that tournament, there weren't too many other events that it was like, oh, if you won that event, it was like, oh, wow, people were like, wow, they won that event. That was a big deal. So with all this in mind about college bowling, okay, now that people understand how it's worked traditionally for the past decades, etc., okay, and I just gave you a crash course in what a college bowling season looks like. Okay? I'm going to pass it over to Mark, and I'm going to let him talk about his idea and how he would like to see things change.
Hey, real quick, Rob, Big Mike, did either one of you go to Vegas for the tier ones that are in Vegas?
Yeah.
Right. That seems to be a big deal. All right. And we're going to Vegas. We leave on Wednesday for Vegas, and I'm going to be up front with you guys. We're spending $12,000 to go to Vegas. All right, that's how much it costs, and we're in the middle of the country. Can you imagine what it costs a lot of the programs that are in the East? Because there's going to be 60 really good teams there for the most part. So that kind of ties in along with what everything Mike said to what the concept that I've came up with. Now, Rob, did you get a chance to watch the video?
Wait, sorry, I can't hear over Mike dying over there.
Oh, did you, Rob?
I was muted. I'm sorry.
Watch the video.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I left him in the dark.
Oh, really? Well, that's good.
I did. Yeah, I left him in the dark because I wanted him to hear it for the first time on the show.
Yeah. All right. So this is it. Roughly, there are 190 programs across the nation right now. Okay. What I did is geographically and by what the current ranking was in the ranking system, I created 18 different conferences across the country. Okay. 18 conferences with either some conferences actually have 2 divisions, a north and a south, or east and a west. Or you might have 6 teams in one conference. All right. The conference concept is really based upon school versus school. In other words, you have home games and you have road games. You're competing against one school in conference, and then also you're able to have any out-of-conference matches that you want. But your conference matches are the ones that are going to get you to the ultimate goal, which is a 64-team bracket-style national championship utilizing this format. Now, if we had 18 conferences across the nation, there would be 56 automatic tournament bids earned, which would leave 8 at-large bids for, let's say, a program out there, just something crazy happened, but they still get into the tournament. And then you have regional seedings, you have hostings, based upon what your record was in conference. We also take into consideration your overall record. This is what college sports is. And I'll be honest with you, Mike and Rob, when you go to a tournament, it hasn't changed from when you guys went. There's 10,000 bowling balls everywhere. You're stumbling over everybody. You can't get around. All right. And then from a team perspective, you're only utilizing 8 players. And most of the time, if you're really trying to win, you're probably only using 6. Okay. So you got 2 really good players that for the most part, they've got a clipboard and an iPad in their hand, and they might get 2 or 3 fill shots. Okay, now, when you look at the perspective and the dynamics of colleges that are bowling, and I'm only talking about the men's version right now, okay? You have, like I said, around 190. Of those 190 schools, the last 20 years, there has only been 38 different programs make it to nationals. That's it. And of those 38, only 32 of them still have current programs. So 32 out of 190, that's blue bloods. I mean, that's like your blue bloods of any other sport. So in talking to other coaches across the country, you have to understand that the majority of these men's programs, very important, men's programs, these kids are not getting full rides. All right, full rides just don't exist. Most of them, I would say, based upon the conversation that I've had with coaches, most of them are anywhere from 45 to 65% of tuition and fees, which means you have pretty decent players that are paying anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a year to bowl on the team. Because, I mean, the money just isn't there. So in conversations that I had with coaches, it's like, how can we make this sport better? All right. And I want to be crystal clear. I'm not calling anything bad or it needs to change or this is horrible. That's not what I'm saying. The premise on this concept, I am making it to where we feel it's going to make things better for college bowling. Now, here's the big change in the format. It goes head-to-head, conference play. You play a home game and you play a road game in this format. It is a 3-period match, just like any other sport. The first period consists of singles action. So one coach will select 4 players. I will select 4 players. These 4 players bowl round robin head to head, and every match that they win, they get 10 bonus pins, not 30. And I'll explain why here in a minute. Then after 4 games of singles action, the top player from the visiting school will go head-to-head against the top player from the home school in what we're referring to as the showcase match, okay? The winner of that match gets 30 bonus pins. Now, all the pins carry over to period 2. Period 2 is now doubles action, where you have 4 doubles teams going up against 4 doubles teams, same format, 4 games round robin. Top 2 teams go in the showcase match. In game 5, winner gets 30 bonus pins. Pins carry over to period 3. Period 3 is 10 Baker games, of which the winner of each one of those Baker games gets 10 points. Total pins after the 3 periods gets the W. That's the format. What are your thoughts, Rob?
Wow, that's a lot to take in there.
It is, isn't it? Like, it's so different than what is currently done.
So would there be a lot of teams bowling against each other in like one facility? Like, would it be like just one team against one team?
2 teams.
Yeah, it's 2 teams. Like, and we've done this already with 2 programs. One other program, we're calling it the Crosstown Clash because it's Oklahoma Christian. You know, Oklahoma Christian, definitely a top 15, top 10 program in the nation. CJ Petrin was on that team last year. And it was incredible. I brought bleachers into the bowling center. We had so many fans there because it was really the first time that we had a home game, the environment. Honestly, I mean, I'm like you, Rob and Mike. I went to the PBA tournaments back when we had bleachers in the back and the TV finals were something special. I had flashbacks because that's what it was like. The total focus was on those showcase matches for singles and doubles.
Yeah.
So
the first thing that jumps out to me is the fact that you have all 8 bowlers bowling, right? Like they when you talk, like you could have had the strongest 5 in the country, and you could have won a national championship. I mean, yeah, it helped to have a 6th man.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you're talking about those 2 or 3 players holding clipboards. That's not essentially in your format going to happen, right?
No, because mathematically, if you wanted to, you have 4 players for singles, 8 players for doubles. That's 12. And then you can use up to 8 players in Baker. So from a number standpoint, you can use as a coach 20 players if you wanted to. We feel, based upon having done this twice now, once with Oklahoma Christian, the other time with Dallas Baptist, that the right number is 12. All right. 12, 13, just depending on what your injury situation and what else might exist. But there's 4 things that make this better, Rob. All right. And I call them the 4 E's. One is economics. Okay. The 11, 12 grand that I'm spending to go to Vegas next week, crazy. I could pay for an entire season and the playoffs with that 12 grand.
Can I the second thing? Hold on, let me comment on that real quick. I'm assuming, if I'm not right, correct me, but it's because a lot of the competition would sort of be regionalized,
very geographic.
Okay,
all right. Yeah, so if I was to college of Saginaw Valley, right, which was in Michigan, all my home games or away games maybe would be longest, maybe 6 hours to drive, right? Maybe we go to Chicago. But that's as far as probably as we would go. I would imagine that the regions would be set up in a sense like that, right?
Yeah, I'm actually pulling. Well, I had the map pulled up, but yeah, it was extremely close because Saginaw was actually in there. They still have a program. They're not very active. I mean, sort of, kind of. But that's why I also based it upon the rankings, because let's face it, you don't want a conference that has 1 good team and 5 not so great teams. So it was a balance of where they were currently in the rankings, because the rankings this time of the year are a pretty good judge, because most of the programs have had at least 2 tier 1s and, probably 3 or 4 tier 2s. So it's a pretty good indicator how good the program is based upon where they are in the rankings. So the geographical location and
where they work because everybody's going to be closer. You're not traveling to tournaments for a whole weekend with a group. Okay, go ahead. What's the next point?
All right, the next one is engagement. The amount of engagement from all capacities, the coach, the fans, mostly the student athletes, because now you don't have a group that doesn't have the opportunity to excel in college, especially if you have that student athlete that's holding the clipboard or the iPad that is somewhat talented and he wants to go to the next level. May not be the PBA Tour, but when you graduate, what are you going to be bowling? He's going to be bowling individual events. Well, from that perspective, he's not really getting in as many reps as he could under this format. So excitement is the third one. I mean, you should see the excitement that is in these kids when their teammates are bowling singles, and then boom, they move to doubles. Everybody's rallying around. And if it's a close match going into Baker, I know both of you guys are experienced in Baker play. When the matches are close, things are insane. Crazy. Right? There's just nothing like it when you have that close match. And then finally, the final E is experience. I mean, what are they truly getting out of their college experience? And I'm not speaking out of the norm here, but let's be honest. There are college programs around the country that this is a revenue generating asset for universities. All right. You have 40, 50 kids in your program. That's great for the school. But truly, what is the opportunity for somebody that's paying 20, 30 grand a year to be a part of this team and really not have the ability to get that opportunity to bowl in college?
So let me ask you, if I had my college, right, we let's just say didn't have a practice facility, would we just pair up with the center where we practice at, and then see, thinking about that, so just on some experience, the national championship our second year was in Grand Rapids, which was about 2.5 hour drive from Saginaw, Michigan, and that was we were in our prime of our we were one of the top ranked schools. We were going for national championship thing, and the school bus students to the Grand Rapids, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was bonkers, right? Because we made it to the match play and we were bowling against other teams, and we had like stands of kids who never bowl. Like, I mean, they were just literally drinking and watching and having a good time.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine if it was a 5 or 10 minute drive to the center to watch like an event, right? Like we would have had everybody in that university, and we were Division II, like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we understand like it's a pretty tight knit university, Division II, just in the fact like everybody knows each other, right? It's a small like little like community, right? At the Division II school. To be able to just go 5 minutes to watch in a bowling center would have been absolutely bonkers. Like, it would have been awesome. And like a home game, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what it is.
A home basketball game. Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, Mike, can you imagine sitting in class knowing that you got a home game that night? You know, and you're not having to pick up and travel 10,000 miles.
And all your friends are going to be there watching and like drinking and hanging out.
That's what college sports is about. Right? It's school versus school, player versus player, just the
rivalries. Like, if you do this for long enough, you're going to develop rivalries with certain schools and whatnot.
And the funny thing is, the truth is that in 4 years of bowling, that was their closest college like big tournament we had, was that one tournament that was 2.5 hours away in 4 years. So like, I couldn't imagine if we had those multiple times a year. Right?
Yeah.
Like, where people would just be able to go to the local bowling alley and just like hang out and watch, like, that'd have been awesome.
Yeah. You know, Mike and I have talked to one element of this concept too, the industry is not doing right now. And that is, if you went to a college tournament right now, Mike and Rob, you would see 25 cell phones on tripods with everybody trying to live stream it through Facebook. It's a disaster. It's a train wreck. Okay, because you can't move around. You remember what it was like. Now imagine trying to put tripods on those tables and trying to get connected. It is an absolute train wreck. All right. My concept is you put everybody on the same network. You have everybody stream their games to one single digital asset. And then you know what that creates? Now you have revenue share. You got revenue share, man. And now the schools and the conferences are actually generating revenue from the advertisement and the companies that we can get to get involved with this, to where that falls back on the economic factor. You're not spending as much money. You're getting more reps in. You actually create an asset to where it's a viable earning asset when you do revenue share. And that's never been done in the sport.
I mean, these are great ideas. But so here's my question. And this is a big thing to change, right? This isn't a small thing to change, right? This is completely overhaul.
This is why I love it, because it's blowing up the whole thing and burning it down to ashes.
It is. But knowing how the bowling industry is, we're not very open to change and new ideas and blowing things up. Specifically, I can imagine the college bowling. I'm not sure who's in charge of the college bowling these days.
That's Gary Brown.
Okay, I'm not sure who that is. I don't know who. But I'd imagine Mark, have you? So I guess, where are you at in trying to get them to at least entertain this idea, or have we just started? No. Okay, so talk about that. All
right. We have made the decision that this is a choice. Okay. And I have been told, and I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but the response that I got, I'm spending 12 grand going to Las Vegas. His response was, well, you don't have to go. Well,
so stupid.
He's right. But how is that getting my players the experience that they need?
Right.
And under the current format, Mike and Rob, honestly, he's right. I don't have to go to Vegas, because you know why? We're still going to qualify in the top 60 or whatever the number is. Okay, but what experience and what good does that do the student athletes that are going to go on that trip if they don't go?
I mean, you said the stat at the beginning, 190, how many programs?
I think there's right around 190.
And how many are really relevant? 30, 38, 40
Probably
maybe?
50, 60.
50, 60.
Yeah.
You would think maybe that this new format would make more universities relevant? I mean, like actually, like
1,000%. I will tell you this already. I've already been contacted by 2 college coaches, one in Ohio, one in Missouri, that they want to make a road trip down here to Oklahoma City and play us one-on-one, whether we get this thing started in 2027 or not. The feedback that I've received from coaches has been phenomenal. Okay, and here's the deal. You have a choice. And I've even constructed a schedule to where if you want to continue doing USBC collegiate and make sectionals or try to make nationals, you can still do that because the average match, depending on where your geographical location is going to cost you less than $200. It's going to cost you less than $200. It's fuel, if you have school vehicles to get there, it's lineage. Lineage. Most of the time, like our center, they donated the lineage. They're like, no, you don't have to pay for any of the matches. So
Shout them out. What center?
Yeah.
Shout them out. Who is it?
Oh, it's Holiday Lanes in Oklahoma City. Been there since 1970. Mike, they used to have green gutters and the green AMF triangle masking units.
Oh, love it. Shout to them. Shout to them. Seriously.
Yeah. And we still have a wood side.
Here's the thing is like just thinking of the 4 E's that you talked about. I think the most important one out of all of them is the economics.
Agree.
Hell yeah.
That's the most important.
Talk about it, please, Rob. That's what I was just going to bring up. You read my mind. Yeah.
We used to have to fundraise, and we would fundraise, which meant asking your parents for money because we didn't fundraise. We didn't go around like selling shit, right? We were
right.
Hey, mom, dad, give me $150 we need it for the fundraiser. Okay.
You guys were probably fundraising through Bowling Action.
Well, I mean, we fundraised because we were making money bowling, but
show up with Bill and your brother and to a league night and put them in brackets. That could be the team's fundraiser for the year.
Not in our area. We're born against Smallwood and all kinds of local legends. Well, I've been talking about national legends, but the economics is the most important one because if you could make college bowling affordable to colleges, especially men's programs that aren't NCAA backed, right? That aren't getting money from NCAA. These are clubs. The men's bowling tournament, they're clubs. They're self-sponsoring. The universities are giving a lot of money to these programs. Yeah. But if you could make it affordable and you could make it actually bring an excitement to the universities and the state, what the universities, like the heads of these universities, especially Division II schools, will see the excitement going around. They're maybe even doing a homecoming, right? Like, and you could really base it on and have a lot of activity from the student body. The universities might start giving more money to the bowling programs, right? And it just kind of snowballs. And I mean, it's a great idea. And I really, man, I kind of want to help you figure out a way to get the message through to these people.
We'll talk more. Here's the other thing too, Mike and Rob, it helps with recruiting because when you're talking to a recruit and you tell them, hey, look, we have the opportunity. You can bowl singles, doubles, and Baker team. And we're going to do, school versus school matches and also fill it in with one tier 1 and a bunch of tier 2s and still have a chance to do both. I mean, as a player, Mike and Rob, would you not want to bowl singles, doubles, and Baker in college?
Ooh, I'd love to go up against singles against somebody, some kids that we used to bowl against. Oh, and streaming too, man. Oh, forget it. I mean, we would have been absolutely out crazy. It would have been so much fun.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the streaming wasn't around when we bowled because they would have caught a lot of stuff that would have probably got us suspended. But I mean, you play up to the cameras too, right? You got 15 cameras going. Everybody's watching a one-on-one match, and I'm just using this as my own example, right? Like we bowled against Sean Rash and Nathan Bohr in Wichita. We bowled against Andrew Kane in Arizona State, and all these bowlers. And at the time, like you want a shot at them. You want a shot at them, right? You wanted to bowl Wichita. You wanted to bowl, all the top schools, the Western Illinois and the Derek Sapps and the Jeremy Sonnenfelds. You wanted, and if you would have got me as a guy who's not an anchor, a second player, right? Maybe a third or fourth seat, and I'm a one-on-one match against the Sean Rash, who's an anchor. Like you, damn right, I would have brought my A game, and I would have been talking, and it would have been an insane match, right? And I guarantee you people would have felt the same way against Bill, right? Like people would have loved to get a shot at him in a one-on-one match or a doubles, a me and Bill versus a Rash and Boar. And I mean, this is people when I was in college, right? I'm just getting excited just talking about it. So I can't imagine what your kids, the kids that were doing it, are feeling.
You know, I'm fortunate to I have currently one of the top players in the country in Riley Spear. I think statistically, he's the number one freshman in the nation right now.
Nice.
And, you know, to see him be involved in singles, doubles, and team action was awesome. I mean, he's on Team USA for crying out loud. You know, the most purest form of competition in this game is what? It's match play. Is it not?
Match play is always the best.
So I would greatly appreciate both of your help in kind of spreading this. Believe me, the word is out. And once again, I want to reiterate, we're not trying to change anything. What we're trying to do is make the sport better.
So
that's what we're trying to do.
Now let's talk about like how to make this change. Is there something that you could get in front of the USBC? I mean, is that who you need to get in front of?
Staying away. All right. Staying away.
I was waiting to bring this up. What's up, Charlie? What's going on? Another guy who's involved with the college bowling program too.
Yeah,
Charlie Tapp.
We're staying away. We are giving schools options because if you still want to do that, you can do that. But this is just like what I was told in going to Vegas. Well, you don't have to go. Well, you know what? You don't have to do this. But here is the ultimate vision. When we get to that 64 team bracket, guess what? You know what they do? I don't even know what the dollar amount is. My goal, and Mike knows that I know people, all right? My goal is to make the 64 team bracket worth $100,000. That's my goal.
Let's pull up. I'm going to cover you here real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm imagining this is Riley, right? In the chat. From experience, head-to-head singles is so fun in college. When we went to the ITRC against Dallas Baptist, we were heckling each other and trash talking purely out of fun. It was a blast, man. God, I would have loved to watch that and bet on it too. I mean, but that's a whole nother.
Yeah, Mike, you would go crazy on a 64 team bracket, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, so that's what I wanted to ask. Well, first, I want to comment on the economic thing because I read a lot and I'm constantly reading about college programs, especially college programs at smaller schools getting axed, or smaller schools that are leaving Division I to drop down to lower divisions because they just can't afford to compete, in terms of facilities and travel and these various issues that are presented when you have these programs, right, and the money that it costs. So to have an idea that is going to be less of an economic commitment to the schools and their budgets, while also still doing a lot of good for the competitive side of things. I mean, to me, that seems like a win-win, like especially in this environment where budgets are tighter than ever. And like I said, schools are cutting programs left and right, and some schools are dropping down divisions to save money. So, yeah, I like it. Now, the other thing I want to say is this. It's because we didn't really get here. You gave us the format, et cetera, but I want to be clear here.
Yeah.
Your ultimate vision here is that at the end of the season, the top 64 teams are ranked. They're put into a March Madness style bracket.
They earn a spot. Earn a spot.
And you're bowling down to a national champion.
Correct.
Okay, so I don't know if you've thought about it this far, but I would imagine the first couple rounds of that would still be regionalized.
Correct. Just like, kind of like any state's high school basketball tournaments, especially large states that have large districts, you have the first two rounds are local. All right. And a lot of times when you seeded teams, you would seed them in a region that they have earned a spot in based upon their record. So they would get seeded in a geographical location to where their costs would be minimal. Then you try to place everybody based upon the same two things, their ranking and the geographical location, right? To where they're not out a ton of money. And then you really build up, the Sweet 16, the Grade 8, and then you have the Final Four at an announced location. You blow it up, and it's just like, I don't want to get any copyright violations here, but it's just like March Madness.
Yeah, no, and I even think you could probably do that with the final 16.
Yeah.
Because you're all, it's quick, right? You're if you're doing it match by match, you can bowl a match each day.
Yeah, a typical match, the timeline, it takes about 4 hours is what it takes.
Okay. So you definitely bowl a match each day easily.
Yeah.
Right. And you could do a couple rounds over the course of the weekend. So
is the strategy going forward just to kind of start doing your thing with the universities and almost like in a way in a couple years maybe force the hand of college bowling to start like entertaining it?
We don't want to force the hand of anybody. I think the direction
you keep trying to create friction here, Rob.
I know.
Trying to create beef. He's trying to be a nice guy and be like, "Hey, I'm just putting this out there," and you're like, "When are you taking over? When are you going to force everybody to do this?"
It means I like the idea. It means I'm trying to like make changes. That's my personality. I want to make changes.
Okay, I'm going to speak to that. So he's going to do his thing, and if it's good, it's going to spread because things that are good and work and are popular and economically sound are going to spread, and more schools are going to look at what he's doing, and more conferences are going to look at what he's doing, and they're going to say, "Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's copy this. Let's produce this on our own."
So who is the ultimate guy to make that decision? Is that the college bowling director, or is it actually the USBC? Like
what, as far as format and all that?
No, as far as like creating all of that and the person who actually would.
That's all the USBC collegiate. That's why we don't want to be involved with them. I mean, let them do their thing. All right. Here's the other thing that's going to evolve from this in the early stages. You know what they do in basketball tournaments during the holiday season, right? They go to the Bahamas, they go to Hawaii. You have these 4-team showcases where, they'll play each other and then you have a championship. Can you imagine having a holiday championship tournament where you bring in 4 schools, bracket style, in this format, and you do it just like what they do in college basketball? All right? That gives the format more exposure, but at the same time, it reduces expense, and the kids would love it, man. I mean, if you're a player involved in a tournament like that, where it's just like bracket play for the basketball tournaments, they're going to get a kick out of it. Here's the thing, all right? The goal in 2027 is to launch it, and we're going to try and get 16 programs across the nation, okay? And keep them in geographical areas, and however that works out, great. If we get more than 16 in 2027, great, fantastic. But we will have in 2027, 2028, a national championship for whatever programs get involved in this program, in this association, in 2027. Now, there's a lot of internal work to be done. We're going to have a committee. We're going to have a board. We're even going to have a commissioner. And one of the guys that I'm considering that I've already spoke to be a commissioner is a real good friend of mine, he was the vice president of track many years ago. PBA touring veteran is Steve Wunderlich. Name ring a bell?
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah, Steve's retired. He lives in Missouri, and it's really, kind of open to the idea of him getting involved and becoming the commissioner of this whole concept.
Steve Wunderlich is good, but I actually thought you were going to say Big Mike there.
Oh, dude, you got too much going on, man.
I was waiting for you to be like, nah, Big Mike. I was going to. Oh, thank you. I appreciate
Big Mike can't even get his computer to work right.
I know. You got too much going on, man.
Yeah. To be clear, though, me and Rob want to be on the board. All right. I want to be able to sit on the board for something.
Seriously, both of you guys would like to be involved with this project.
I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's great. I told you that the first time we talked. I told you I really like this idea. I think you have something here. I think that
I'll be on the board. People are like, who are these two fucking puds?
No. And I'll say this. I got to say this. If there's any college coaches, and I know that there's college coaches that listen to this show, just reach out to me. All right. Get in touch with me. You can go to snubowling.com. Absolutely. 1,000%. Because now you have
hold on. Tell them what the question
you can
was.
sell.
Somebody asked in the chat, is there any hope for college bowling getting involved in NIL?
Absolutely, because now you have a tangible asset for a digital presence involved with the revenue share concept.
Well, yeah, obviously we're a little limited in time here, but that's another idea I like about this. I mean, you'd likely sell a fair amount of subscriptions because there'd be a lot of parents that want to watch.
Yeah, it would be totally free. Okay.
Mark, I'll reach out.
Advertising.
Mark, I recently had a conversation last month with the Arizona State head coach. I'll reach out and let him know to watch the show and just hey, watch the show. And if hey, give me the word. I'll send a text out to Chad Murphy and let him know. Hey,
no.
You keep going back to this.
We're gonna end up getting seated like in Pittsburgh or someplace for sectionals, man. Don't be doing that.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to use my connection to help you, Mark. But I reach out to Arizona State and see maybe if they'll be interested. I'm sure there's some other college coaches that are watching or will watch after I do a little bit of promoting on social media. It's just like, hey, I think all college coaches need to watch this interview.
Yeah. Hey, both of you got a spot on the board. Automatic. All right.
Awesome. Tomorrow I'm going into work and I'm going to start telling people I'm a board member.
Yeah, I know. It's going on my resume.
There you go. Hey, Rob, I'm going to forward you the link to the video and feel free to share that with anybody.
I have it. I'll get it to him.
Okay.
I'll get it to him. Yeah, I'll get it to him. I wanted him to hear the idea fresh here from you and kind of react to it.
Is there any other feedback? I can't see the instant feedback. Anybody saying that?
People, I mean, I think
feedback. Yeah, people seem to be with it. Yeah,
I think I would need to see how this, how many home games, how many away games, how does that all look? But I mean,
you'll see it in the video.
Yeah, and I would love to be able to definitely when you guys have a match or when it goes down to definitely watch it and just see how the production looks and just how it all looks, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Again, we're limited on time, but his background is in that.
Yeah,
you have a deep background in production and internet production, so yeah, they kind of have that already built in there. But yeah, it's and actually, your guy here is telling us that one of the matches is up on YouTube already.
Yeah,
so Dallas Baptist posted last month on YouTube.
I think it's also and I know we're running short on time here, but I think it's easier to understand in your format what's going on than it is at the present moment where, I mean, you would bowl for 8 games, 8 hours in a bowling center. And you didn't you were 3 games behind standings. You didn't know where you were at. I couldn't imagine sitting there and watching on top. I couldn't imagine when my parents or my father would go watch a college bowling, sitting there for 9 hours and really painful, I would imagine, for him to watch. As a bowler, though, time went by quick.
Riley, is that YouTube video posted? Where is that? Tell us.
It's on the Dallas Baptist Bowling or DBU Bowling.
Okay.
DBU Bowling.
So if anybody wants to go check that out, you can search for it.
Hey, by the way, I got to give a quick shout out to the Dallas Baptist head coach. His name's Jonathan Barrett. This whole thing came about when last year at Las Vegas, I had to write a check for $11,000 for everything that we spent. And I called him up while we were in Vegas after all the entire tournament was over. And I said, Jonathan, let's go get something to eat. I got an idea. And 2.5 hours later, he looked at me and he said, dude, I'm all in on this. Let's make it happen. And a year later, here we are. We've already had 3 matches. I've already got coaches talking about it. So I think the concept does what I'm trying to accomplish, and that's make the sport better. That's all I'm trying to do.
Mark, we're out of time.
All right, man.
We're gonna check in. We're gonna check back with you at some point, and just see how things are. But really, we wanted to bring you on to kind of present your idea and get it out there, and give you our platform to kind of talk about it. And like you said, I'm sure there's people involved in college bowling that listen to this podcast. So, if you are one of those people, feel free to reach out. And
Mark, where people reach out to you, give your email or something so people
they can go to snubowling.com And then there's a tab there for coaches, and all my contact info's on that tab on snubowling.com.
snubowling.com.
Yeah. And if you are if you are a player, here's a great school. I mean, obviously you hear Mark, he's very passionate about the game and improving college bowling, and he has this new program. So if you're a player, perhaps you should look up Southern Nazarene University and put them on your list of schools to check out. Reach out to the coach and get some info on that.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for coming on, man. I'm glad that we were able to work it out and that we were able to do this. Rob and I have such a love for college bowling. Like, it's such a fond memory of our bowling experience that we love to see it grow and get better. And I really like this idea. I do. I think even for women's bowling too. Like, yeah. I like it on the NCAA side too as well. I see a lot of what they do, and I think they could benefit from a concept like this, an idea like this. So, shout to you for presenting it to us, and good luck with making it run. You got Sweep the Rack on the board now, so we're gonna put legs behind this thing. We're gonna get it moving. But we appreciate you coming on, man. And
Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy holidays. Stay in touch and continue to do your thing down there, man. We'll be watching.
All right, Mark. Thanks, man.
Bye. Later.
Yo, I took you out. I took Mike out. I took Mike out. No, I'm just fucking with it.
What are you doing, son? You took me out.
I took you out. I want to talk to Mark more. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
No, good dude, very knowledgeable, but great guy to talk to. As I said, when we first started the podcast, he was hitting me up and giving us some great advice in terms of improving what we were doing, and he had a lot of good behind the scenes advice for me.
We've come a long way since then. I mean, we got new microphones and all. I mean, it took us like 4 years, but we finally did. For the college, just to wrap up that whole topic. I think everything has to be reevaluated once in a while for a change, right? And look at like college football was a good example, right? Like college football, they were doing the bowl games for how long? And the bowl games were only, keep in mind, for Division I. Division II college football is a bracket. It's a playoff bracket, right? And even college football knew that there was a disconnect with the bowl games and the seedings and all of that. And even they started to make a change and go to like a bracket, right? If I think at one point, like, everybody needs to reevaluate the formats, and college bowling has been kind of doing their thing for so long that like it needs to be essentially redone or reevaluated or facelift or however you want to call it. The idea that Mark has is a great idea. Just thinking about just the economics of it and like getting excitement around a university, a small school. Bowling is a lot of small school universities. There aren't really a lot of national, like, big college bowling programs. I'm talking.
There ain't a lot of Wichita states.
No, but I'm talking like size of school, right? Like, you're not going to find a really good bowling program from like a University of Michigan or a big school, right? But small schools want to get excited about whatever it is, right? And a good bowling program, a small school will rally around it, Mike. I saw it at Saginaw Valley. I mean, we were known as the bowling school. Like, everybody who wasn't a bowler would even be in the national gym during a basketball game, and you'd see the 2 national championship banners or whatever, and like nothing else sense, right? Like, so if you have a excitement in the university, so much stuff could happen, right? Where it could snowball into all kinds of different areas with the NIL and the more funding for the universities, less travel, more being at home to study. We didn't talk about academics, right? Like, how many tests I could have done a lot better at if I didn't have to travel 10 hours in a van and then had to go take a final on a Monday, Imagine actually having a home game and not having to travel and being able to like actually get some work done. You know how many social events I missed because I had to be on the road traveling to Vegas to bowl. I think there's a lot of benefits to it. So
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, Rob, to me it comes down to this: a lot of things around bowling are dying. Okay, a lot of things around bowling are dwindling. Right. I feel I don't, and I'm not trying to be negative here, but the fact back this up: college bowling is kind of going the same way. Right. Some of the biggest, best programs out there have dropped their programs, don't have teams anymore, etc. Okay.
Yeah, we saw that. What was this university just dropped it? That was we talked about it. I forgot.
Was it TCU?
No, I forgot, but it was one of the big schools, the big
Stephen F.
bowling school.
Austin.
Yeah, yeah, there was a few of them.
Austin, right?
Yeah.
So like when I look at this idea, okay, not only do I look at it as something that can be good for college bowling, but I look at it as something that could maybe, because of the positives, reverse that trend and have more schools look at it and say, you know what, this is an economically viable sport that we can add pretty easily that's going to draw in decent numbers of kids to come to this school and participate in it while also not costing the school a boatload of money. Okay. And, I think that, we talked about how a lot of the programs, especially men's programs, really are club teams. Like maybe if it was more affordable and it wasn't such a financial commitment from the side of the school, you might see men's bowling go NCAA. Right. And that's I know there's more to it than that because of guys competing for money, but I think that's more a possibility now than ever because of NIL and the fact that these college players can earn money now, right? So that could probably be worked out. But yeah, I think that it's an idea that could help bowling go in the other direction. Right?
Yeah. So Riley says in the chat, bowling's biggest issue is that lacks viewership because it just isn't the most exciting to watch. Making college bowling fun to watch would probably help viewership and grow the sport. I think out of all the events, in my opinion, that are the most fun and entertaining is college bowling Baker matches. I think that to me is hands down probably the most exciting like format to watch bowling in general. There's a reason why like the PBA league was pretty entertaining to watch because of the fact where players can get excited, show emotion, get hype, and then have a few minutes to calm their emotions down before their next shot. You don't see that a lot in a singles matches one-on-one. The thing about college bowling in Mark's format is that you don't need to be hype when you have 7, 9, 10 of your teammates behind you getting hyped for you in a way, right? So like it definitely brings excitement, and I agree, Mike. I think this is a good idea, and I'm happy that it's brought up. You want to read that?
Kev, what's up, Kev?
What's up, Kevin?
Kev's in the chat. Happy holidays, bro. Kev's in the chat asking, does Nebraska have a men's team anymore?
I don't
He
know.
doesn't think that they do. I don't know. I'm not that up on it. If somebody in the chat wants to answer, but again, that would be another really good example of a program that traditionally was a really strong program, but is not where they were at one time.
The one thing that's good, I think, that he's approaching it as, and I was just kind of like maybe getting ahead of myself here, is that they're not trying to go through, USBC college bowling. They're going to try to do this themselves. They're going to try to really focus on doing it just between the colleges themselves. And I think you could make a lot more progress and a lot less red tape to go through trying to go get things changed. I agree with that approach. And the more I thought about it, the more I've been wrapping my head around the interview. It makes a lot of sense. But, I'm just I'm like that fat kid at the buffet that's trying to eat like 9 plates and I can only finish 3. All right, Mike, we have a little bit to get to. I don't want to be on for 2 hours.
We're going overtime.
I know, but I don't
want to go overtime for the people tonight. Consider it a holiday gift, folks.
Yeah.
We love you here at Sweep the Rack.
They just announced, Mike, the World Series of bowling format.
Well, like I would say the full schedule's kind of out now, right?
The full schedule's out. I think maybe we might save the full analysis of the schedule for next week.
Okay.
Unless something crazy happens this week that'll take up all of our time. But thoughts overall, and I know we'll go into the events and the whole schedule next week, event by event. We'll talk about the money, the TV, all that stuff. But thoughts in general, let's just do high level. Thoughts on where the schedule is. What questions do you still have?
I don't have a lot of questions.
Okay.
I have some comments. I have some observations.
Okay.
Do you want the hot take first?
Sure, because we have a few minutes before worst of the week. So let's go through the hot take.
All right.
Talk about it.
My hot take on this is as follows. It's pretty clear after seeing that CBS portion of the schedule, okay, that professional bowling has just become filler.
You just learned this when today?
Well, I mean, isn't it? Well, hold on a minute. I think you're being unfair there, to be honest with you. Do you think it was that obvious before looking at a schedule like this?
I mean, we always talked about how the TV slot, the time slots for TV previously to next year have always notorious been like.
Got you. That I agree. Like, in other words, filler in terms of, the NFL's on, so we're just going to put this on. Okay, I got you on that.
Yeah.
I mean it in a different way.
Okay.
Here. I mean it in a worse way here, actually. And the way that I mean it in is that I think CBS Sports is looking at it like we have these massive blocks of time to fill in this part of the year. And we don't really have a product to put on to fill these massive blocks of time. So let's go and get this cheap option of bowling. And not only will it fill these blocks of time, but it's something that we can re-show, which other networks have done. And if you wanted to say to me, hey, Big Mike, that happened already. Networks have been using bowling as filler for times where they have nothing else to put on. They show reruns. Got you. Understood. But what I think is happening now, the line that I feel like we've crossed now, is even the first showing is a filler type situation.
But don't you think that bowling, at least bowling telecasts, and I'm talking by ratings, advertising, all that stuff, don't they have to earn the right to not be that? And I don't think they've done that to a sense.
Yeah,
they're not going to.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, man, if I'm a professional bowler, especially a younger professional bowler, and I'm looking at this schedule, and I'm seeing that, like, oh wow, they have us on for five straight hours. Some nights, 4 hours in a row, 5 hours in a row. I mean, I'd be concerned about that. I would be like, wow. We better put our heads together and figure out how we, the players, are going to provide something that people want to watch that's going to get people hooked in, even for a portion of that time.
But the players won't do that. The players won't get together.
I know. And Rob, in a world, why this struck me so much is because we're in a world where content is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. Right? It's harder and harder to keep people's attention for longer amounts of time.
And I know that just from the show.
I know. And what are they doing? They're saying, oh yeah, let's just put it on for 4 hours and run it.
Yeah. I know, like, just from this experience with this show, I have more people that only watch our reels that I post and don't watch our hour and a half or 2 hour live show we do every week. And someone will be like, oh, I know you from the reels. I know you from the reels, but a lot of people say, well, I watch your show every week.
Right.
And I think a lot of people, when they do watch our show, it's in like segments, it's in like blocks, it's like half hour there, 15 there. But the reels, have created a super ADD type, right? Attention deficit, right? Where people could only hold their attention for 10 seconds and then they're on to the next video. I see it all the time at work with these younger generation, right? Where, they're just scrolling through these stories of like real quick. And it's just like, man.
So JT Clinton in the chat says, does rerunning shows not bring more eyes to the sport? No, it does, JT. And I hear your point there.
So I guess like my argument to you, Mike, is that like, what is CBS supposed? What would you have been happy to see them do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Here's what I care about.
Okay.
Here's why I'm saying what I'm saying. I didn't even think about that, to be honest with you. That's a very complicated answer, I feel like, even, right? But
it's a simple question with a complicated answer.
It's a simple question with a complicated answer. But here's why I comment on this. Rob, bowling, it struggles to be interesting for an hour. It struggles to keep people in it for the 1 hour show or the 1 hour and a half show. You understand where I'm coming from? And we're going to put it on for 4 hours straight.
So, but here's the interesting thing, and people want to do a golf comparison. This is a golf comparison. Golf is on every weekend for 4 or 5 hours straight.
Every day, yeah, 3 days in a row. No, it's fair.
So,
it's fair, but I think golf has already proven that it rises to a certain level of entertainment. Now, I don't feel this way. I think it's the most boring shit to watch ever. But clearly it's proven through sponsorships and dollars and eyes on it that it provides the kind of entertainment that people will watch and be captivated by for that number of hours, right? What I'm trying to say is bowling has not even come close to that. So doing this to me is almost like, oh yeah, just throw it on. And like whoever comes in to watch it comes in to watch it.
So why does it have to be bowling though? Why does it have to be 5 hours of bowling?
I hear you.
Why couldn't they put some make some kind of a video or PBA bowling life stories? Do some different content. It doesn't have to be like I'm just saying.
You know what? They did it before with the Ryan Simonelli and Duke match, like a documentary of leading up to the live match you're going to see.
Something in that nature, right? So they have to. This is where
I will say that from what I looked at the schedule, it does seem like some of these hours of content are going to be semifinal rounds that lead up to a final, right?
See, I'm against just putting bowling on.
I hear you. I understand.
Pros bowling for 5 hours.
I know. Me. I'm only speaking for me here, right? I love it.
You're not going to watch 5 hours. Who are you
kidding?
I will.
Yes, I will.
No, you won't. You ain't going to watch 5 hours of live bowling. You're going to sit down at 9 a.m.
Not live, because I just don't have that kind of block of time.
That's what I'm saying.
But I will watch the full broadcast.
I won't.
I know, and a lot of people won't. But again, that's because something has to change with the entertainment value of it.
I'll watch the last half hour where the final matches or the last final 2 matches. I think this is a conversation I would like to have next week. But how about this? Here's your homework assignment, Mike, for preparation of the next show and the fans out there listening and our Sweep the Rack peeps. What if you were producing this 5-hour broadcast? What can you do that you would be able to keep people engaged for most of it? Like, and I'm talking, you could do anything you want with this, right? Like 5 hours of just live bowling on TV of just pros bowling a 19-man step ladder or round robin, matches, and just, I think it ain't gonna cut it. I think there's got to be some more creativity. There's got to be some more outside the bowling lanes content. I mean, you could watch a UFC, and I'm just saying this, a UFC or an NFL playoff game where they're on like 3 hours before the actual game or the fights. And the commentators are going through the stories of the fighters, the storylines, this and that. And I think that's something that needs to happen in a sense, but I think we need to talk more in depth about it next week. Read that comment. That's a good comment. That's comment of the week.
That's a great comment. Needs a kidney says 3 hours of pressing questions.
Hey, I don't think anybody would mind a couple hours of Kimberly Pressler.
Oh my God.
I don't think anybody would mind seeing Kimberly Pressler for a couple hours, doing some interviews or whatnot.
No, it's an interesting question, Rob. I mean, first thing that popped in my head is like, well, what kind of budget constraints do we have? But first thing that popped into my head was a halftime show.
Yeah, but what are you going to have?
If I got that much a block of time, there might be a halftime show involved.
What, a guy with like 10 frisbees and a dog?
Oh, no. I mean,
jumping through hula hoops.
Somebody good. Oh,
knowing the PBA, they'll get like Kevin Williams to do the halftime show. Like, nothing against Kevin Williams, right? But I'm just saying to save money, right? You know, I'm just saying, right? Oh man, I think this show we're going off the rails. I think we've been on too long. All right, Mike.
Actually, you know who I was thinking? I was thinking Blues Traveler.
Oh yeah, Blues Traveler.
Where they could do the song from the end of Kingpin. You know.
Speaking of, might take my final thought there. You haven't heard the news about Kingpin. We'll go through one of my final thoughts. Anyway, real quick, Mike, before we go to worst of the week, have we heard anything about the PBA, the commentary, and who's going to be in the booth?
I don't know. They teased a little thing like this week with a little blurred out picture that looked like it was a person with a microphone on or something. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I thought that was the World Series announcement. I didn't see anything after that. Does anybody in the chat, does anybody have an idea, or was it just at this point speculation of who's going to be in the booth?
Speculation.
Yeah, I think that's going to tell us a lot about the CW shows, at least. Kevin Hart, yeah, right. Kevin Hart, the PBA couldn't afford Kevin Hart. And nobody has any idea. It's a pretty well-kept secret, I think. There's a part of me that wants to reach out to Tom Clark and see if I can get any info on that. But you know what the worst part sometimes is? If I find out info and I can't say anything, that's to me the worst. Like, you know, the first thing I want to do is get on the show and like tell everybody that I know. And then how many times, Mike, have we known something and we're like, oh God, we can't say it. It sucks.
I feel like it's going to be anticlimactic.
Okay.
I feel like they tease this big announcement, like, we got a big announcement regarding an announcer, and then it's going to be like, oh yeah, it's Joe Schmo that nobody's ever heard of before. Be like, who the hell's this guy?
It's Fanta. It wasn't like the same people they brought back. It's like Randy and Rob. Like, you think
that's
people
what I want to know if Randy's coming back.
You think people would be disappointed if it was the same booth? Like, are people expecting a change? People in the chat, are you guys expecting a change in the booth? Are you going to be excited if there's new faces and new blood in the booth, or do you guys want to see back, Dave Ryan and Randy, or Randy and Rob Stone? We know Rob Stone's not going to be back, so I mean, we could already count him out. But I'd be curious to see if people are expecting a change or they're just like wanting the same booth. A lot of people are going to say they need new change. I think that's going to be the like. Cool. All right, Mike. We'll talk about the We'll talk about the schedule next week. We'll go into detail, Mike. I don't think we have a lot going on this week in the bowling world unless some new announcements get thrown out there. But we'll go through every tournament. We'll go through where we think betting is going to be, if there is betting, if there's match play. There's a lot of different formats spread across the whole schedule, it looks like. So it should be interesting to say the least on that end.
All right, let's give the people what they want.
Let's do it. All right, Mike. I'm going to go first because I don't want you stealing my worst of the week.
Okay.
My worst of the week is going to Motive Bowling for putting up a post about their new patent pending power band technology found in the Apex Jackal. And they made some big marketing about they want to make an existing core dual density. This is now possible. If you want to turn an existing symmetrical core into ASIM, this is now possible. The power band, and it's trademarked. Okay, this is what makes it even funnier. Gives their engineering team the ability to tailor ball motion to exact performance needs, with incredible precision. If this isn't the cliche of every most AI videos that I send out on a daily basis, then I don't know what is. But that's not worst of the week.
Brett Spang was trolling you, son.
That's not worst of the week. The worst of the week is the fact that we had two very high, well-known competitor bowling ball people from Storm, and I believe it was Ebonite or Brunswick or one of the brands, where they literally were commenting on Motive, this post that I read, including Hank Boomershine, who, if you don't know who Hank Boomershine is, then I feel like you're kind of living under a rock, but he's a very, very high up at Storm. I forgot his exact title, but he's been there for decades. He's been there for. I
believe his new title is Director of Innovation or Director of Innovative Technology.
Yeah, he's one of the head guys that's in charge of the technology of the bowling balls. And he started naming bowling balls that already had this technology: El Nino, La Nina, Trauma. Like, he literally started naming the bowling balls. And then, like, Motive decided to, like, make a comment, and then Hank Boomershine comes in, makes a comment, and then another I forgot his name. I didn't take a snapshot of it. Comes in and then starts naming balls from his brand, and then there's literally it feels like that scene out of Anchorman where they're all like having the brawl. And like all of the news channels start coming out of the woodwork, Spanish news channel and Channel 8 and Channel 5, and they're just all fighting each other. So if you haven't been able to check that post out, go to the Motive Bowling Facebook page, look for that announcement about the Apex Jackal, and then look at all the comments. And it's a great laugh, and it was definitely entertaining. And people who were sending it to me were like super entertained about it. So my worst of the week: Motive Bowling for trademarking a new technology that's already been out for God knows how long, according to their competitors. So
interesting. My worst of the week was easy. It was simple this week. It's obvious. If you're paying attention to social media, it's obvious anyway. My worst of the week is going out to the USBC.
Ooh, I'm going to get a call from Chad Murphy tomorrow.
Well, when he calls you, tell him.
I'm going to call you.
Yeah, tell him to call me, and we'll have a conversation about how we can better improve the Masters entries process.
I knew this was going to be a topic.
I don't know, quite frankly, if I should give worst of the week to the USBC for doing such a shit job with the rollout of it, or if I should give worst of the week to all the hacks and patch pirates who are on social media bitching and complaining that they didn't get into the Masters because it sold out in 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Oh, my God. 6 minutes. Listen, folks, a lot of yous, they did you a favor, okay? They saved you the 500 entry, the travel, the hotel, the meals, all that, because all you were going to do is you were going to get wackadoodled, okay? You were going to get wackadoodled by the real bowlers out there. So all the patch pirates, sit down and be quiet, okay? No one cares you didn't get into the Masters. No one cares. If you ain't top-level talent, shut up about not getting to the Masters. No one wants to hear it.
Hey, my brother, Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Entering the Masters bowling versions of buying Taylor Swift tickets. Jeff, please tell me you haven't tried to buy Taylor Swift tickets.
With that said, just because the patch pirates and hacks are mad, it doesn't let the USBC off the hook. Okay? They still need to do a better job. They still need to come up with a better system. Okay? because that's just not acceptable. It's just not acceptable. Okay. So yeah, that's my worst.
Dude, Kevin wants to know if the King of the Patch Pirates got in.
No,
is he bowling?
He better not. He better not. I heard he's asking people for donations to help him with his move or something. He better not be going to bowl the Masters and burning $1,000+ when you got no chance of doing anything. He better not. If he is, somebody better check him on that GoFundMe he's running or whatever the hell he's got up there. Somebody better go check that, John.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Get this dude under wraps for real. But all right, listen, I don't know who to give worst of the week to in this situation. The hacks and patch pirates that are crying that they didn't get in when all you did was save a bunch of money. Go get a lesson, okay? Or the USBC, who, despite being this huge organization, governing body of our sport, et cetera, fails. Just crap job, okay? Do better.
Stacks must be new to the channel. He's asking who the king of the patch pirates is.
It's Louis Napolis. It's Louis. Do you know Stacks? Do you know Louis Napolis? Are you familiar with his YouTube ball review page? Okay,
that's hilarious. You like the Christmas overlay? I just realized that they gave us some new Christmas overlays here, so I figured we'd be festive here.
Got me in the holiday spirit.
I know. All right, Mike, you ready to get this finished?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Rob, final thoughts.
If anybody didn't know this, I heard, and it's a legit rumor, that they have approved a Kingpin 2, and they are Kevin loves trolling Mike on Luis on King of the Patch Pirates. They are in the works of making a new Kingpin, and they are bringing back I guess a lot of the original cast members and are making a new Kingpin. I am not excited about a sequel to Kingpin, and there's a few reasons, and I'm going to talk about them real quick. One, most very, very legendary comedies out there, and I can name a few: Dumb and Dumber, Anchorman. There's so many where they make sequels, and the sequels are just awful. They're terrible. And you try to bring back the magic of the original comedies, and it's just not there. Kingpin was a very funny movie. It didn't do really anything for the bowling world. I think it actually made the bowling world look a lot worse, to be honest with you. There's just way too many jokes that like make fun of bowling in a sense, right? It as a serious high-level competitive bowler, Kingpin didn't do a lot of good things for the sport, but it was a funny movie. I'm not gonna lie; it had its really, really hilarious in certain parts. So, am I excited for them to make a new movie that's probably going to be not as funny and probably still make fun of bowling? No. But will I watch it? Probably. I don't know if I'll probably make it through the first half hour. It's going to have to be like really good, but we'll see. I guess to be determined.
Not good for bowling. Agree with you. But this one is likely to just be like a blip on the radar. I'd have a hard time believing that Kingpin 2 is going to rise anywhere near to the popularity or level of exposure that the original Kingpin did. No
way. I mean, it'll probably be streamed somewhere on a Netflix or an Amazon Prime or something. It's not going to be. It's rare these days. I feel like a movie is getting like actually like released into the movie theaters. Alex James says Revenge of the Rubber Man, Munson out of retirement, getting Munson down the middle of nowhere. That's what I would call it. Kingpin 2.
I also feel like this is not the first time we've heard this.
No, it's for sure happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it's happening.
Man, Bill Murray's old, man. How old is he now? He's got.
I know, but maybe it's a senior tour. Maybe. I mean, they can do whatever they want to. They should bring us in to give our input on the script and what they could do. And I guarantee you, we could probably make it funnier. I guarantee you.
No question.
I have a good creative mind. I mean, you guys
Me
have seen
too.
some of these
Honestly,
videos.
It's one thing I always wanted to do was write like a bowling movie, bowling production. You know, I always felt like you could really have some great comedy there.
Yeah. There is some comedy. You just go to Mike's Sport League. I hear there's a lot of comedy there. He can't even talk about. There's a lot of comedy there. He can't even talk about.
Tons of comedy. Explicit nature comedy. Banned from TV type comedy. Yeah. All right. My final thought is that it's that time of year where a lot of local Masters tournaments are going on. Local Masters popping up everywhere. I'm sure I see all over Facebook, social media. And I just want to say, as I do every year around this time of the local Masters tournaments, make sure your local Masters is bowled on something of a sport variety.
All the local Hall of Famer legends are going to be coming out of the woodwork.
Well, I'm just saying, if it ain't bowled on something of a sport variety, you probably shouldn't call it a Masters tournament. Should call it a Pretenders tournament, maybe.
So real quick on the Kingpin, they should really try to bring in Pete Weber to have a legitimate part in that movie. To me, that would be really funny. Imagine Pete Weber bowling bigger and McCracken. You could make that straight comedy, bro. Seriously, and have a legitimate bowling
You want that's the final scene from the first one, but you want Pete Weber as the person that Big Earn is bowling against.
Well, Pete Weber is kind of a good villain, and Big Earn was the villain. So I think if they clashed, I think it would be really funny if they made it the right way. You know what I mean? And I know if they called Pete, he would do it. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't he do it? Anyway, just thinking about it out loud, because I saw someone in the chat talked about Tom Hess beats the shit out of Ernie McCracken at the Senior Masters, just stuff like that. People, I would really hope that they would be able to incorporate they did in the first one where they brought in some real bowlers. Johnny Petragular was in it. Parker Bone was in it. I think Randy Peterson was in it. I believe I remember. I think they should do it this way.
Was in it.
They should do it this way, but they should bring back some of the senior bowlers, right? And Pete would be the first phone call you make, right? If you're the producers.
No question.
So anyway, all right, Mike, ready to wrap this up? We're almost at overtime here, so
we're way in overtime, bro. Let's go.
For sure. Christmas gifts. Spare keeping bowlers off house shots. If you want a good Christmas gift, there's no better gift in this whole world than a Sweep the Rack t-shirt, Mike. Use promo code PatchPirate, 15% off. Go to InsideBowling.com. Nothing better than giving your 5-year-old a Sweep the Rack shirt.
Help Rob pay for his own Christmas list.
I don't even have any lights. I'm going dark. Nothing as good as giving your 5-year-old a Sweep the Rack t-shirt for Christmas. They'll love it.
No doubt. I suggest the one with the rant about sports shots on it that has foul language all throughout it. Get them that one. Let them wear it to league. That would be great.
Yeah. All right, Mike. You want to give them the wrap up?
Yeah, you never hit you didn't do the closing.
I did already the Sweep the Rack the worst of the week. You're out of it. I did. You're out of it, man. You're not paying attention.
My bad. I'm lost here. I'm lost. Go ahead. All right, well, we appreciate everybody joining us. Happy holidays to everyone, man.
We're back next week.
Yeah, we're in the thick of the holiday season. We're on next week, yes?
Yeah, we'll go on next week, and then the weekend for the weekend after Christmas, we won't be
we're out. And then we come back in the new year, and it's PBA time.
That New Year would be that Sunday. I think we'll be okay for that one, but we'll let the people know. We might take 2 weeks. We'll see.
No doubt. So we appreciate everybody joining us. We appreciate everybody in the chat. We appreciate Mark Jeffries for coming on as our guest tonight, talking a little college bowling. That was interesting, and glad we got to have him. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Helps us out. It gets Rob very, very excited when people like and subscribe. This is like a big thing to Rob. You guys don't understand. Like, if we don't get likes and subscriptions, Rob gets very down and downtrodden.
I work very hard on the social media. If you people follow us on our Facebook page.
Reward Rob for all the work he does to put out all these AI videos that entertain you all throughout the week. Okay. Reward him. And the way you reward him
is liking
and likes and subscribes.
And making comments.
Like, if you're listening to this podcast right now, and I know there's a few people that listen to this podcast likely while they're driving around, doing stuff with their kids. Here's what we need you to do. We need you to tell your kids right now to go like and subscribe too. Not just you, but get the kids to like and subscribe. Okay? Get the wife to like and subscribe.
Just all right? It's not that hard.
This makes Rob happy. Okay.
Makes me happy.
Joy to Rob's life. All right. So please, the man don't have too much, guys. He ain't married. Okay. He's got no kids. All right. You know, likes and subscriptions is what the man wants. Please.
I know. Okay. Christmas morning, I will be waking up and running down the stairs and checking our Facebook page and our YouTube to see how many subscriptions and likes we have. He will, no doubt, no doubt. If you want some merch, Christmas gifts, etc. Oh, excuse me. Yes, look at him. He's very interested. See, he's yawning mid.
InsideBowling.com. InsideBowling.com. Content creators, sweep the rack. Use the code PatchPirate, 15% off. Okay. We appreciate everybody. Love having you guys around. Great conversation, great comments tonight. We appreciate everybody joining us. If you're listening to this after the fact, we appreciate your support. Rob will be back next week for the people. We're going to be heavy breakdown of the PBA schedule next week. Heavy breakdown of the PBA schedule. Okay. That's what we're doing next week. If you want to hear PBA, what the schedule looks like, prize funds, formats, betting, opportunities, etc., make sure you're tuned in next week. Rob, have a great week. And we'll see everybody next week.
There, guys.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.